The newly launched Vivo X60 Pro is a capable flagship thanks to its vast improvements done across all areas, but arguably one of the most important improvements is done to the camera system. This time, the camera system is co-engineered by the Vivo team with German giants ZEISS. But exactly how impressive is the camera system on this phone? Well, we're going to find out by comparing it to the iPhone 12, which obviously is also known for its camera and photography prowess.
First off, let's talk a bit more about ZEISS and who they are. For the uninitiated, ZEISS has been a prominent figure in the lens-making industry for over 150 years. Some of their crowning achievements include making special lenses to capture images of mankind's first steps on the moon, or that in 2019, 10 Oscar-nominated movies were filmed through ZEISS lenses. They've made professional-grade DSLR lenses as well, including their signature Variotasar and Biotar portrait lenses. The former you get on the X60 Pro as a hardware feature, while the latter you get as a software feature. With that said, let's start the comparison. When it comes to daytime shots, the first thing that jumps out to me is how much more saturated colors are on the Vivo X60 Pro. Meanwhile, the iPhone 12 as usual delivers more natural colors. The X60 Pro actually offers better sharpness on the subject matter and closely around it, like with the fountain and water, while the iPhone 12 appears to be sharper in the buildings in the background. Meanwhile, the sky is overexposed on the Vivo X60 Pro. In this next picture, both phones perform nearly identical, except the Vivo X60 Pro delivers better dynamic range here, as we can see more details in the leaves on the plant to the left. Over in this picture of the bicycle, we get the same impressive dynamic range on the X60 Pro, as we can see more details on the bike, especially on the tires. Where the iPhone does better is retaining detail around the bike, particularly on the brick wall and the ground. The X60 Pro is meant to give you insta-ready images that don't really need much post-editing, while the iPhone's image still needs some touching up here and there if you want a more stylized image. Moving on to high-res photography, the X60 Pro can shoot 48MP high-res pictures, and as we already know, with 48MP photography, we get a little more detail captured in each image, as can be seen here. We see more details in the leaves and tree bark, but of course this comes at the cost of higher file sizes. If you plan on making prints out of your photos, a high-res image will always give you more room to work with. Here's another feature that you don't get with the iPhone 12, the ZEISS Biotar portrait filter that does the same thing as ZEISS's Retro Jenna Biotar lenses, giving portrait shots a cool, almost spiral, shiny bokeh effect in the background while keeping the subject super sharp and bright. On top of that, the effect also does well at bringing out details in objects like the statue. The discoloring of the statue is more obvious on the X60 Pro's picture compared to the iPhone 12's. Moving on to night mode, the Vivo X60 Pro with its extreme night vision 2.0 technology offers a much brighter image while also offering more details, especially in the trees. I need to note that this was taken at around 7:45 PM, which meant it was already quite dark. It goes to show how well both phones perform in low light situations. We now move to the heart of KL with much more light this time, and in this situation, both phones seem to perform just as well, but the X60 Pro still offers a slightly brighter image, while both phones retain details quite well too. With the X60 Pro, you also get a bunch of night mode filters that add extra flair to your shots. Some of my favorites include green orange, silver and orange, and dark red. There's also night panorama, which lets you take super clear nightscapes of the city. Also, an impressive addition to the X60 Pro is a point-and-click long exposure feature. You can take different kinds of shots like light trails, like graffiti, you can even blur crowds, and more. You can do these on the iPhone 12, but the results are not as impressive. Moving on to videography, the X60 Pro comes with the Gimbal Stabilization 2.0 technology, which should give us better video stabilization now, but we're comparing it with the iPhone 12 here that also offers impressive stabilization. The results that we get here are that the X60 Pro performs just as well as the iPhone 12. Certain portions of the video we see less wobbliness on the X60 Pro, meanwhile the iPhone 12 deals with sudden turns better. Both videos were shot at 1080p resolution, 60 frames per second. Lastly, let's move on to selfies. Again, the X60 Pro delivers brighter images and has more beautification features as well. Meanwhile, the iPhone 12 seems to have better detail retention on the subject matter. In portrait mode, both phones do quite well with subject background separation too, and the aperture levels can always be adjusted on both phones.
So in conclusion, the iPhone 12 still offers pretty good camera performance, but the Vivo X60 Pro can still hold its own in all areas thanks to its brighter, more stylized images that don't need post-editing if you want to post it onto your social media. There's also high-res photography, better video stabilization, awesome night performance, and that very cool Biotar portrait lens filter. You get all that on the Vivo X60 Pro for less money. This costs 3,299 ringgit, while the iPhone 12 costs a whopping 3,899 ringgit. If you need a camera-centric smartphone that can deliver in all areas without breaking the bank, the Vivo X60 Pro should definitely be at the top of your shortlist. So that's it for our comparison of the Vivo X60 Pro and the iPhone 12. Let us know what you think down in the comment section below. Remember to like our video, subscribe to our channel. This is Victor signing off. Bye-bye.